What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday, 25th here. Got a good number of stocks on the watch list today. Got about 6 large cap, and I got 7 small cap. So I'm really looking out for the small caps today, trying to find significant levels to short around. Looks like TLRY and Square over here might be good gap and goes. I got a bunch of alerts set on those small cap stocks, so I'll probably be hearing a couple of them go off to let me know that it's close to that level. I'll be looking. I think my plan is so far is to take a super small position right as it hits that level, just so I can log it, start recording it, start taking some stats down on it, and then add in once it confirms on the tape if it wants to fall and fail at that level. We're gonna open here in a second. Circuit breaker on TLRY would definitely help for the long case. Too big on this, maybe 200 shares at the most. Probably get myself 30 cents on it too. Square's dipping a little bit. Facebook was around, but now it kind of popped back up. Same with DLR here. Big sell-off to start. Worried about TLRY and this 120 level too. You can see it kept getting up here and rejected. I'd like to see us find some strength down here though. There's a little bit of a bounce. Let's see, 200 shares, that's 200 bucks. I probably need to go 150 on this. Risk will be about $2. Yeah, Square with a big sell-off. Seems to be holding this 116 pretty hard here. CGC's not doing anything, so it's not helping her going against. Looks like the big small cap ones I was looking at are kind of failing here too. None of them are squeezing up. And TLRY's out. Square's popping up here, but it just got rejected. Squeezed above it, and there it goes. Well, Square would have been a good one. Jeez. Yeah, there it is right there. Would have hit out here. I'll watch it if it wants to start coming back here with some volume. Square might be a good opening range play coming up though, although it does have a lot of resistance. There it is right there. Alright, so we got Joni here. This is the one that I didn't like the most because it's not really a small cap anymore. It's sitting at $11 and I was looking to short it right around this 1140 area. But we're having a super strong open on it. And it's just rushing straight towards it. And it really wasn't on any news. It just regains compliance with NYSE continued listing requirements. So I mean, this thing is up 70% on that, which doesn't really make any sense. I'll be watching it on my other screen here. I'll watch TLRY for now. Doesn't look too good though. Or not. Alright, I'm looking at square for an opening range break here. Looks like over 80. Not that big. Next spot I got is the whole number, so trying to squeeze 20 cents out of it isn't the best. Already back up there though. Kind of spread just gets crazy. What is the deal with that? I have to go less than 300. Risk is about 25 cents. So I mean 500 is it, but that spread's just killing me. I'm gonna go for it here. We'll see what happens. Just want to see it at the whole number. Oh, looks like we're gonna sell off hard. That's not a good opening range breakout anymore. Taylor Y kind of curving around. Might go for red to green. I'll definitely take this one long if it gets up there again. Yeah, square's bouncing, but opening range that's kind of breaking down like that, I don't like them too much. 400 is way too big. I think even 150 is too big on this. Because these red to green moves, I don't really know what my risk is. I mean, really it's just going to have to end up being a whole number, the last spot to hold, really. CGC is really moving up here, so that would help. I'm just gonna go 50 on this. Stop loss will be about 170, so I'm only 117. So I'm only risking about $100 on this. Try to get 2, see what it does. And another one, end backs. It's right at where I was looking for it to be. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Squared pull back to VWAP. Could be a good spot for it to hold. TLRY is still not out yet. And squared blew through VWAP. Alright. TLRY doesn't seem to want to do anything, so we got end backs here right at this daily spot at 2. Kind of see a little bit of support here, or I guess resistance now, right here. Tons of sellers here at 2. I don't really know what exactly would happen on this. I never traded a stock like this, so if it does get above 2, you know, how likely is it to just squeeze even higher? I got a bunch of buyers here at 198 too. Lots of people just buying a ton here. So now we know that there's a ton of people long with size. So if it fails here, it just adds to the case. Yeah, TLRY's out. I mean, this isn't there it is, there's a break. It's obviously not the prettiest chart. I mean, this thing only moves like a couple of pennies every single time. have to take like 10,000 shares plus just to see anything significant on it. I don't think I like this one that much. It's not gonna move anywhere. Tons of volume on it, but it's not gonna move. Looking at square. Got above VWAP, and now it's kind of getting a little rejected here, but we got the 9 coming up on it, so I think I can get it. I hate when Lightspeed does this. I don't know why it does that. 25, it got down to 08. CGC just crashed hard. Let's see, 500 shares. Stop loss of about 17 cents, but I mean the spread gets a little ridiculous at times, and I'm starting not to like these wicks. It's kind of a low volume attempt to move higher here. I don't think I like this one that much. But it's holding. Yeah, it's holding tighter and tighter every time. If I can get a super tight entry on this, then obviously I don't have much to worry about, so I think I'm going to go for that. See if I can get filled at 17. Stop loss will just be right underneath it, so if it's a loser, it'll be a very small loss. And there it was. So if it's just not going to hold, then it's not going to hold, so that's fine. See what happens though. Might just want to break down. Big seller just showed up. I don't know. I just think I need to avoid it. I don't think it's that good. Got down to this 90 now. That held pretty well. So I think that would be a much clearer stop loss. But at the same time, this thing, with the wicks coming down like this, it just doesn't look that good. Pre-market 20 is coming into play now. There's break. So this could be the test before it wants to get bought back up here. And well, it's a long time till the 5-minute closes, but we're still closing above VWAP here. Other tech stocks are falling pretty hard. MU's dropping, AMD's dropping hard, Nvidia's dropping hard, Qs are dropping, and it's definitely not helping. I want to wait to see what the 5-minute candle's gonna do here. Back above VWAP. I mean, it's not over yet. I think I'm just gonna have to deal with having a big stop loss on this. I might try and get something in 40 cents here. I can go 150 at 89 because we got a couple minutes here till the candles close. And I can add into this thing if it breaks above. I think that's what I'm gonna do here. Stop loss will be 59 for now. This 10's holding pretty strong. Jagex. Alright, I'm in a little bit here. I'd like to see it come back. What is it? High, this is 43, so 42. So I might just have to get all out here if it gets all the way down. Yeah, that's the 5-minute candle closing, so I need to get out of this. I'll see if it'll bounce here, but more than likely. Yeah, there it is. I don't know, I tried. I think this was probably the better trade of this. This one might have been just a little too early because I was waiting for the 5 minute to close. I don't know, plenty to think about. I gotta talk about it in the recap, but I'm looking at TNDM here too. Got through view app, came back above, kind of stalling here. We just now broke underneath view app, so if it can't hold this and we can get back above these points here, might be a good trade, but the volume. Also, JAG-X just kind of screamed up here. I think it's halted right now. But 120 is the level that I was looking at it for. You can see right there. Probably get something at 60. Stop at, what is this, 50. I'm liking how it's holding. Spread's a little spready, but it's had a chance here, and now the 20's getting on top of this. Yeah, all these moving averages are sitting above it. And the volume, I think I just need to let this one go again. I'm gonna record it though because I need to. I mean, this wouldn't hurt me. This is like nothing. And if it decides to hold this level, well then I got a super good trade. I know I always want to enter in as close as to my risk as possible. I mean, overall this thing's still pretty bullish. I know that I've seen 50 on this thing. I mean, this thing could definitely trap in all these longs and they can hit out as soon as it breaks underneath this 52. So this could end up being a good short. There it goes. We got underneath it, didn't like it. Now we're back above view app. Jeez. Well, I don't know how could have gotten a piece of that. I mean, it was obviously just a fake out. I mean, it broke underneath it. Then that's when all the buy-in came in, squeezing it straight back up. What the hell? Square's just what? I got no idea where this came from. Well, now I need to wait for a pullback. See if we can get back to view app again. Like, where did this even, how did this happen? Something must have happened, because I mean, this huge volume spike out of nowhere. Alright, well, I'll have to flip this back on later. Okay, might have something going on here. On TNDM, we're kind of getting a little bit of a pullback now. Come back to retest this 9. Really just took off. I mean, it came out of nowhere. No idea what's going on. Next resistance isn't until 48.50, so I think I want to try and find a spot on a little bit of a pullback here. So we got a low of 57. So I try and get 60. Stop would be just right underneath it. Spread is a little ridiculous. I think I'll have to go a little smaller here. I think I'll go 400. It's a somewhat relatively low volume pullback. But I mean, volume doesn't mean too much, obviously. This move came out of nowhere. I might be missing it already. Only came back once. Yep, missed it. only happened once, and then second opportunity came up just a few pennies below it, so yeah, just a little too slow. Okay, CGC is making a decent triangle here. We just now squeezed up above it. Broke pretty good on some volume here. Now we're kind of coming back to retest. I'd much rather take it long than short. TLRY is also kind of strong right now, so I think I can get something at 20 with the stop loss underneath the whole number. So it's about $100 worth of risk here. SPY is dropping. I think 20 might be too far away here. I might have to go up here. 25 and go 400. I'm liking how it's holding. Don't do it without me, man. Missed it. Just again, too slow. I think I had one shot to get in at 25. The 20 wasn't going to happen. 20 would have been ideal because both the moving averages were there, but it's already at a point that I would have wanted to take some profits. See all these wicks up here about this 45, 50-ish. See what'll happen on a pullback here. I don't know that I want to take it long again though. Because if it fails here, it could definitely be a good short too. We came down and bounced below a 20. Might be able to get something like this. Nope. If we can hold view up here, this could be a good long too. So far it looks like we are. – Holding it for now. Alright, I think we're good here. Saw it hit 15. Come on, man, feel me. There we go. It's still bouncing off that VWAP. I'd like to see it back up in the 40s. Good bounce so far here. You see more than that. Yeah, anything in the 40s, I need to start taking some off here. I'm getting kind of slow. Still some buying. Yeah, really slow. I'm red on the day. I'm just gonna take some off while I can. TLRY is not helping. Well, maybe a little bit. Not too much though. Here we go. I want to see 40. I'll take some more off. Alright, last spot to hold was about 20-ish. Here we go. You see the bid catch up though. Huh. 43 is holding. Oh, there we go. Take some more. This high was a 46, so once we see 46, if we can get above 50, this is definitely good. I mean, the tape's obviously slow because there's not too much volume, so I need to expect that it's going to take a little bit. See if we can touch 46. There's no reason to let this go back to my original point of entry here, so I think looks like 23, 24. 20, I'll hit out the rest. Definitely seeing the pullback here. Otherwise moving up, it might help. SPY's been flat for pretty much the whole day. High 45 here, 46 there, 49. Low 26 here, so I can move my stop up again if we get up there. Which it looks like we might. It's not going to do it here. So 22 will be my new one. Alright, here we go. And there we go. Take some. Take some more. High day's 83. I'm probably just gonna get it all out here. And 83 bounce. Yeah, all out. Sweet. Just had to be a little patient to wait for that move. But once we finally got above that 47, all this 50 area, thing really took off. Alright, I have plenty to talk about today, so that's good. I'm going to keep recording though, because I want to see what happens. I want to be able to go back and watch the tape and see if I could have kept holding or something. Okay, so we got something going on in TLRY here. Definitely making a big time triangle. It's kind of... That's not what I wanted to do. So you can see that it was making a triangle a little bit here, broke down out underneath it, came back to view up, got underneath it again, still making the triangle. Fake broke down underneath it and popped back up. I think that was around the time I was taking that CGC trade too. And then now we got this one. It's just getting tighter and tighter here. I mean, it could be a good long. It could also be a good short. We got the 9 EMA right underneath it here. Every time we got underneath view app, we got right back above it. We ended up closing above it. Got a couple minutes and a half here till this 5-minute candle closes. I'm thinking I'm gonna want to get long this. Spread's gotten tighter. Volume has dropped off. So I don't have to be risking $2 anymore. I can still probably risk maybe half a dollar. So it looks like this 115 is holding pretty strong here. We got down to 114.75-ish. Big squeeze there. That's a good sign. I think I can probably get long. 25, that'll give me 50 cents worth of risk. Jeez, I'm making a push right for it. I mean, I can't get in on this without chasing. I definitely don't want to chase. Now that wick kind of worries me. I mean, it's not that crazy that the wick's there though. I closed it right on it. Just kind of messes up the triangle a little bit because now I got a new level to worry about. So this 116.70 through 50-ish, and then 117's a problem. We might just be making a breakout right now. I hate to just buy in the middle of this because I really wanted to get an order in down here. I think I just need to be patient here. Let it come to me. So I might be able to get something close to 115 if it comes back down again. I think I still do want to try and get filled in the low 115s here. But we made a push. Made a bunch of failed pushes. And now we're busting out above. And now it's just not, well, that's not true. I could treat this the exact same way I traded CGC, just enter in on a pullback out of this breakout here. And if we don't get above this 70, high 65, now we're sitting 70 over here, so yeah. I think I just need to wait and see what happens on a pullback here. I'm definitely not getting filled down there. Some kind of retest of the middle of this wedge here would be ideal. But at the same time, I mean, it's TLRY. This thing could just take off out of nowhere. Might not even get a pullback. I'd be really cautious of a trap as soon as it breaks above it like it is now. That's when we got up to about 30-40. Alright, the 17's been holding here for a while now. I want to see what happens if we get under it. And there it is. Back in, oh wow. I guess I could have gotten my original entry. I need to see some buying though. I need to see something here. Big capitulation volume candle here. Everyone's that was long hitting out of this thing, and then now the rest of them hitting out. I think. Oh. Saw a big buyer there at 50. Nope, not there anymore. If we can hold above VWAP here, I think I got a good trade. Coming out to test it now. Got a low of 26, now 20, 27, 26. Very slow here. I definitely got a clear spot to get in close to my risk down here, around this 25-ish. But we already made the move, really. But if we can keep making higher lows here, which we are, then I think I still got a good trade on this. So 5 minutes, still looking alright. Kind of a shooting star, but kept seeing some 40s in there, so I think I need to go for this. Problem now, I'm gonna take this no matter what if it gets down there, but the problem now is that we saw the bounce and then we got up to this 116 and now I'm waiting for it to come back again, which pretty much means I'm entering long on a failed move higher because my opportunity is already come and gone. But we'll still see if this level can hold. Volume has just disappeared. Now it can obviously come in though. CGC's been moving up. I don't know. I just need to not do it. It's just not a smart entry anymore. So now we're holding a little bit higher. Now with the 50 again. 50 was the low of this little range in here. Yeah, breaking underneath it now. Come back to test VWAP. Yeah, I just need to avoid it. If anything, I need to play it off of the 5 minute instead of the 1 minute. So I mean, still my risk would be about 75-ish. We're about to close the next 5 minute candle here. There it is. Right after we closed the 5 minute too. CGC and Kron are kind of following TLRY here. They're both selling off. Yeah. Just a little bit of continuation. Alright, nothing here. I'm gonna take a little break here and then I'll probably come back and do a recap. Okay, I am definitely gonna be done for the day. Pretty crazy day. A little ridiculous in some cases. Felt like I traded pretty good for the most part. There was definitely some situations like this TLRY trade. Trying to take that long wasn't the best idea, mainly because I was too late on it. If it was early, you know, it looks good for long on a pullback right about here, but obviously after we get to this point, it never looks good anymore. So I mean, ultimately best possible case for this one is I get long here and maybe get out over here, but I mean, that wouldn't make much sense at all, so I probably would have been a break-even trade. Same case with the volume. I mean, it looks like a much better short now. After we failed to move higher, got underneath the VWAP on good volume, came back for a retest, failed, and I mean, this thing should keep dumping. Just have to see what happens. Wanted it for a long though, mainly because gapping up, moving average is all underneath it, but is the way it is. So Square and CGC were the only two trades that I took today. Very different cases in both, I guess. Square usually trades much higher relative volume, so I'm starting to wonder here. So this was at, say 645. So Square was trading at 2.6 relative volume, which is bad. Obviously you always want to see things that are trading at a minimum of like 3, but I mean ultimately 10 would be the best. So I mean, Square's obviously been heavily traded for the past forever, but today it was up on good news. I think I wrote down an upgrade, bullish analyst commentary, so basically an upgrade. So I figured that might be a little, you know, a little jumpstart kick to it. But compared to CGC, where we had much cleaner action, especially, you know, there's no crazy big fake outs. It's tight consolidation here. Nothing really broke any technicals or anything. So then comparing that to CGC at, 710. So CGC's relative life was even less than that. Less than 2. Okay, well, maybe I'm not onto anything there. Either way, Square really kind of faked me out. Really strong open, came back to view app, got underneath, quickly regained, covered right back up above it. Noticed that the 9 was coming up on it, so I decided to get an entry right near it with a stop loss. I think my problem on this first trade was my stop loss I put here at this 0807 mark. I ended up getting out at 01. I mean, it came back and it touched a low of 90. The low over here was 89. So I mean, I think, you know, I'm always trying to keep my risk really tight while still being able to keep my size big. But in some of these cases, I think I'm not placing the correct stop loss. So I wanted to keep it tight, but I think the better entry might have actually been at the 08 with a stop loss around the 90 here. I mean, it still would have been a loser, but I think that would have been the better scenario. Then we ended up coming a little later. I knew the trade wasn't over, so we ended up making like a fake breakdown here. Came right back up above VWAP again. And at this point, I noticed on the 5s, you know, we're closing above, making a doji here. So then on this candle here, the 20's coming up on it. We just closed above, so now I'm looking for another retest to try and get long. So I ended up getting long at the whole number, only 150 shares, because I knew that my stop loss was going to be relatively big, but I just wanted to get in on the trade anyway. So stop loss was about 60, ended up getting out of 57. Took 150 shares on it, so I mean, it was close. It was like $75 worth of risk. Really, just it hit. I was the bottom tick on this one. I was the guy that got stopped out, and then from there it just took off. I mean, the way that I want to trade is I want to trade, you know, around these levels, respect the levels. You know, if it breaks the levels, then the trade's not valid anymore. And I mean, I think Square was just one of these cases where I just got screwed, and that was just really just the way it is. I mean, at this point, this doesn't look like a good long anymore from this point on. And then, I mean, I saw the volume coming in, and the thing just exploded. I mean, I don't know how I could have gotten in on this one, because after this loss here, there's no way that I would have been wanting to long it again, because it didn't look good anymore. I mean, the 5-minute closed underneath it, and then we had a doji still underneath VWAP. I mean, I don't see, in this case, I don't really see how I could have gotten a win out of this trade. I mean, in respect to my rules, they weren't bad trades at the time. It's just, I don't know. I think the Square was just kind of the way it goes. But I hung in there, stuck around for some more in the day, and ended up seeing CGC making a pretty decent triangle here. We ended up breaking out of the triangle when I started watching it over here. I wanted to see if it could hold on a pullback, so I was looking for it to pull back and get an entry somewhere in there. So it came back to VWAP, low of about 54.06, 05, 07. So then I put my order in, got long 500 at 15, stop loss right underneath VWAP in this 06 right here. So it was pretty tight risk reward, risking only about 9 cents, trying to see it back up at this 40. And I mean, it took a little bit. We ended up kind of chopping around for a little bit. But I wanted to take some off because I was down, you know, 144 bucks on the day. I wanted to just keep some green. I didn't want to have to end up giving all of it back or anything. But I mean, CGC was pretty clear. It was really nice. It's really exactly how I want to see these trades working out. Respect the level, failed to make a new low. Came back up, kind of tested this little high of the 45 area up here. So I kept taking more off as we got up there, and then we had a little super light volume pullback here. Came back, made a new low, and here was my plan for my new stop loss. And then once it got up here, what is this, 25, that was my new stop loss. And then we just took off. Once we got above this 50, things started pushing towards new high day. And I mean, we ticked up the 86 compared to the 83 over here. So I made a new high day, so I was just looking to take the rest off, and I mean, ended up being a good winner. I guess I know I've definitely done this in the past too, where I take a little bit off. Maybe I should have held on to it. Maybe I should have added as we broke, making a new high a day. I don't really know. I think once I type up my report card on this, I'll be able to think about it a little more, but ended up being a pretty solid trade overall anyway. I mean, I think, let's see, if I held on to it the entire time and only started taking partials as I got up to the 60, was at 45 cents. So I mean, that's like it could have been like a $300 trade, I guess. But I mean, overall, I mean, not complaining about anything really. Just because it was so slow. I mean, I think I should have expected to be holding on to it for a while just because of the volume and the way the thing's moving. Plus all the resistance up here, so I don't know, once we got up there, I don't think they were bad partials. I think that was about right. But TNDM here had a decent setup here, but again, it's these low volume, like fake breakout things that I'm really trying to recognize, but also trade at the same time. I mean, we came down, touched the 20, got underneath VWAP, ended up closing beneath VWAP, and then we just kind of got stuck in a little range here. You can see the low of this was 51, and we broke underneath it, got to 44, and then we just took off. And again, there's no real, I can't really tell where a good entry in this trade would be, but ultimately I was looking for a long on it. I was looking for a fake breakdown here, but I mean, I want to see something like this candle here, but then I want to see it pull back to these moving averages, or at least something. I mean, I think the moving averages would have been perfect, because just looking at this, if it comes back and it retests this 85 level that it was stuck in earlier, and it can't get above that, well, then that's definitely a really good risk-reward entry. I mean, I only have to risk like maybe 20 cents on this thing, and I mean, we just took off, never turned back around. So that would have been a pretty good win too, but I just had to let it go. I didn't want to be chasing it or anything, but overall, I think it was a pretty good day. I hung in there. I changed myself from being down almost 150 to plus another 60, so I don't know, plenty to type up. If you made it this far in the video, I'm sure I'll be saying a lot of things in the report that I didn't say now, as usually I always do, because I still got to go back over the tape and everything. But got one more trading day to go, just tomorrow, and then I'll be out of here, coming back next Monday. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow.